Okay, I need to get something off my chest because this is actually bull. And I can't believe more people are not talking about it. In my last video, I told you that Digital Foundry found that the Steam machine ships with a single 16GB memory stick in single channel. That was pretty bad, but it turns out it's actually worse than that. So let's talk about it. Valve has now confirmed that the Steam machine ships in two different RAM configurations, and you, the buyer, do not get to choose which one you end up with. Some units are shipping with only one 16GB stick of RAM running single channel, others are shipping with two 8GB sticks running dual channel. Same price, same box, same product page, and you only find out which one you got when it shows up at your door. Actually, you find out much later because you have to completely disassemble the unit to find out.
Like, at some point you might have two DIMMs, at some point you might have one. It just changes based on the supply that we can secure. But at the end of the day, it should be comparable speeds and all that.
Dual channel means you've got two memory sticks and the CPU can talk to both of them at the same time in parallel. I'm gonna simplify this a lot. Think of it like a two-lane highway instead of one. Memory bandwidth basically doubles. Single channel means you've got one stick doing all the work by itself. One lane, same destination, half the throughput. I've simplified this a lot and it's a lot more nuanced than this, but stick with me here. For a lot of games, you won't notice the difference in performance, but for anything that leans hard on memory bandwidth or is more CPU intensive, single channel can become an actual bottleneck. Now, Valve's justification for all of this is that there isn't much of a performance difference in actual games.
We validated the performance delta, and we don't really think it makes a big difference, or if any measurable difference at all.
For
games work.
And sure, in a lot of titles that is true. From what I've read and from Valve's own testing, the gap is pretty negligible. But it's not true across the board, and Valve knows that because their own people have admitted some titles are more memory sensitive than others. And here's the part that actually makes me furious. They're justifying this by saying games won't see a difference. The Steam machine wasn't marketed as a box that only plays games off the Steam store. They heavily marketed this as a PC. Valve pitched this as a PC multiple times across the video and the store page, and they show a guy working on the Steam machine using Blender.
Workstation stuff, the memory stuff. We understand that dual channel has a difference there, but the wall clock time difference for real games is not. At least we thought it was worth it.
The second you call this a PC, the "it's fine for gaming" stops being a complete answer. People are going to use this for more than gaming, so saying it's basically fine for gaming as the whole defense feels like dodging the actual question. And then there's the line from Valve that really got under my skin. They said if they'd insisted on dual channel memory for every machine, they would have to sell way fewer machines.
It's either that or all the machines that, have one slots, we couldn't have shipped them. So I think it's worth the trade-off, but that's definitely...
Cool, so sell way fewer machines. That's not our problem to solve for you by you quietly shipping a worse product to half your customers. This is ridiculous. And Valve is actually spinning part of this like it's a positive thing. Like, hey, good news, you can upgrade the single stick version to 32 gigs pretty easily.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a weird trade-off because it's like having one stick is actually better for some cases because some people might want to upgrade to 32 and now they can just plop down another module. Right? So it's a little bit of a trade-off either way, but right now because we can't really decide on just one.
No, that's not good news. That's a consolation prize for half of us, and for the other half, the people who got two 8GB sticks, it makes their situation actively worse because their 32GB upgrade path becomes much harder, now having to source two 16GB sticks and toss their 8GB sticks in a market where, by Valve's own admission, those sticks are already hard to find. Ridiculous. So the upgrade path silver lining doesn't fix anything, it just adds a second tier of unfairness on top of the first one. Now let me know if you end up with a single 16GB version stick. Are you actually gonna bother upgrading to 32GB or are you just gonna live with 16GB? I genuinely cannot think of another PC manufacturer or console maker that's ever shipped two completely different memory configurations under the same SKU, same price, same box, and just let you roll the dice on which one shows up. Actually, I can. You know who does this? Pre-built PCs being sold in Walmart and Costco, aka the worst of the worst in the PC world. Let me know, have you ever gotten burned by a budget pre-built with some sketchy RAM config? Tell me about it, I want to hear the horror stories. Now, this is not normal, I cannot defend this, this is not how things are supposed to work. I can't believe Valve are the ones to do this to their customers, and it's gonna create a real headache for anyone doing benchmarks, myself included. People are going to watch my videos and they're going to see my numbers and they're going to run their own Steam machine, get a different result and assume I did something wrong or they did something wrong with their machine. So we're just not testing the same product anymore, even though it's sold as one and the same. And to make this even worse, it's pretty hard to tell which version you've got without fully taking the thing apart. No listing on the store page tells you, nothing on the box. You're looking at a full disassembly just to find out what you paid for. I'm honestly floored this isn't getting more attention. This is one of the most ridiculous things I've seen a company do. Am I overreacting here, or is this as bad as I think it is? Let me know in the comments if you even care about this. And if you guys are enjoying this breakdown, consider subscribing to the channel. I cover Steam, Steam Deck, Steam hardware, and I'm not afraid to call out a bad decision when I see one. Now I've cooled off. I'm ready to look for silver linings. SteamOS 3.8 is rolling out with the Steam machine, and as part of it, Valve is now letting anyone install SteamOS on a desktop PC. Right now, that's AMD and Intel hardware only. Nvidia support is something Valve says they're still working on, and from what's being reported, it might not land this year, but eventually it should be available. According to a piece from The Verge, Valve's engineers talked through a lot of the work that's gone into making this possible, from mainly driver maturity and shader pre-compilation on non-AMD console hardware. Valve's framing is that the desktop experience should already be solid, even if it's not fully polished. Now there are some caveats to this. HDMI SEC isn't supported yet, and dual booting alongside Windows isn't really set up to work cleanly either, at least not yet, so you're not gonna get that clean Steam machine experience. However, in my opinion, this is a pretty good follow-up to the mess we just talked about with the RAM, but it doesn't fully fix it. If you decide to build your own SteamOS box, you can pick up your own RAM. You pick up your own configuration, nobody's rolling the dice for you behind the scenes. So while Valve is asking actual Steam machine buyers to gamble on what's inside the unit, at least with desktop SteamOS, you have the freedom to build your own device. Now the official Steam machine takes a lot of the decisions out of your hands right now, and it offers convenience instead. Desktop SteamOS hands back those decisions and takes back some of that convenience. Would you actually build your own SteamOS box over buying the official Steam machine at this point? Or is the convenience still worth it to you? That's gonna be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, consider leaving a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike and let me know what I can do to improve. And if you're into Steam, Steam Deck, Steam hardware and gaming handhelds, consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.